less of a priority. They don't need to be at the live stream.
Okay, give me 1 second here. I think I can just use the same email from last night.
Okay, there's the new link. I just put it up.
Okay, Becky, start sending it to teachers. This my way is not working. Can you do it using the cohort
Okay.
schedule? Okay. Thank you. I'm going to send it to the engineers. Hunter, it's the one that ends in FUG, is that right?
Sorry, say that again.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, okay. We're good.
Okay.
Okay, I just sent the email to all the teachers.
Oh, thank you. And I've just sent it to all the engineers.
Okay. Give it like 2 more minutes then.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
That's it. That was the one hiccup for the day. It's done.
I sent it to
I
Joanne.
got
I
it.
think she's getting it up on the website right now. Check the website.
It's always something with Zoom. Okay, I'm going back on mute.
So,
For those of us who are on the live stream, we just had a little bit of technical difficulties. We're just giving another minute for everybody to join in, and then we're going to get started.
sorry.
Hunter, it looks like we're getting a bunch of people that have moved over to the live stream now. So I think
Okay.
that it's a good idea if you want to get going.
Okay, amazing. Okay. Thank you. I'm just gonna share my screen. It just something happened quick. Where is Zoom? Right here. 2 seconds. Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We apologize for the technical issues. We're going to hop right into it. So hello, welcome to the 2024 Future Cities Experience Showcase. My name is Hunter and I am a program coordinator from Ontario Tech University, specifically our Faculty of Engineering. I'm so excited to welcome well over 1,000 youth here today from across Canada to this virtual event. We're here to recognize your amazing designs and accomplishments. Your determination, teamwork, and problem-solving skills will be on display today, which highlight your key abilities as an engineer. So I'm going to start off with our land acknowledgement. So Ontario Tech University acknowledges the lands and people of the Mississaugas of Scugog Island First Nation. We are thankful to be welcomed on these lands in friendship. The lands we are situated on are covered under the William Treaties and the traditional territory of the Mississaugas, a branch of the Greater Anishinaabe Nation, including Algonquin, Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi. These lands remain home to a number of Indigenous nations and people. We acknowledge this land out of respect for the Indigenous nations who have cared for Turtle Island, also called North America, from before the arrival of the settler peoples until this day. Most importantly, we remember the history of these lands have been tainted by poor treatment and a lack of friendship with the First Nations who call them home. This history is something we are all affected by as we're all treaty people in Canada. We all have a shared history to reflect on, and each of us is affected by this history in different ways. Our past defines our present, but if we move forward as friends and allies, then it does not define our future. So I will now show a short video about Ontario Tech University and the Faculty of Engineering and Applied Sciences.
Ontario Tech Engineering is empowering students to solve the world's most complex problems and to engineer a bright new future. Gain hands-on engineering design experience in one of our design-focused engineering programs and our many student design teams. Take your entrepreneurial ideas from prototype to reality in our engineering design studios. Get a market-driven and career-oriented education in one of our state-of-the-art teaching and research labs. Expand your learning outside the classroom and customize your experience. Find something that ignites your passion in one of our many engineering clubs and societies. Turn your laptop into a computer lab. Our leading-edge engineering software is available at your fingertips wherever you go. Meet your future employer. Get real-world engineering experience and accelerate your career goals through our co-op and internship program. Learn from and work with leading-edge researchers in emerging fields such as autonomous vehicles, renewable energy, and artificial intelligence. Say hello to engineering at Ontario Tech University.
Amazing. I will now pass it on to Rebecca.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the Future City Experience Showcase. My name is Rebecca White. I'm the CEO of Engineers of Tomorrow. We're a national nonprofit that specializes in engineering for students from kindergarten all the way through to grade 12. And my goal today is that all of you leave here even more curious and excited about engineering. I'm honored to share with you a special message from our partners today, Engineers Canada.
Hello and welcome to this year's Future City Experience. My name is Gerard McDonald. I'm an engineer and the CEO of Engineers Canada, the national association that works on behalf of the provincial and territorial associations that regulate engineering and license the country's 300,000 engineers.
Hello everyone, I'm Jeanette Southwood. I'm also an engineer and I'm the Vice President of Corporate Affairs and Strategic Partnerships for Engineers Canada. We are proud to see that the Future City program has grown so much since it began in 2017, with the help and collaboration of Engineers of Tomorrow and Ontario Tech University. Together, we are creating positive engineering experiences for students across Canada, helping to inspire youth and to grow the sustainability and diversity of the engineering profession, so that engineers can continue to serve and protect all Canadians. We hope you have all enjoyed challenging yourselves to create a climate resilient city, and we're excited to see your designs.
We want to thank all the educators and students that are participating today from across Canada. Designing a city that is adapted to the impacts of climate change is not easy. There are many technical, logistical, and environmental challenges that need to be solved. As engineers, It's our job to solve complex problems like the one you and your classmates have been working on for the last 4 months. And we're all excited for you to share your designs with us today.
We also want to thank the people behind the scenes who made today possible. Specifically, we would like to give a big shout out to Kim Buffard, Engineers Canada's Manager of Belonging and Engagement, who brought together all the partners to create the Future City experience. And to Rebecca White, CEO of Engineers of
Amazing. Now, before we get into today's event, I would like to introduce the planning team that worked together to help bring you all here today. The team at Engineers of Tomorrow, we have Sarah, Adam, and Lael with us. And a really big thank you to Hunter and Ellen and the entire team at Ontario Tech University. We are all so excited to welcome you here today. I know that a lot of you have been working very hard over the last few months to design and build a model of a city 100 years in the future. And that's quite a complex challenge. So I hope that you're proud of what you've accomplished. We wanted to do something very special today to celebrate your achievements. So we've invited a special guest speaker who we hope will inspire you as you navigate your own future path. So I'd like you to please join me in welcoming Senator Rosa Galvez. Senator Galvez is one of Canada's leading experts in pollution control and its effect on human health. She has a PhD in environmental engineering from McGill University and was a professor at Université Laval à Québec for over 25 years, heading the civil and water engineering department. She specializes in water and soil decontamination, waste management and residues, sustainable development, environmental impact assessments, and climate risk to infrastructure. Her research has led her around the world to cities such as France, Italy, Belgium, Japan, and China. So please join me now in welcoming Senator Galvez to our virtual stage.
Hello. Hello, Rebecca. Thank you so much for this kind invitation. Thank you to Future City Competitions, Ontario Tech, Engineering Canada, Engineering for Tomorrow. That's so fantastic. I am so really thrilled to talk to you guys that have worked so much for this competition, and to absolutely that I know that you care for the environment where you live. So with that, I would like to share my screen. Is it there already? Can somebody tell me? Can I just go ahead? Not yet?
Yeah, you can go ahead and share now.
It's shared already.
Maybe try it again, because then we're not
I'll try it again. Okay. So I'm going to share it again. Share.
There it is. Perfect.
Okay. Hello. Okay. So here I am. Thank you so much. So let me introduce myself first, okay? So I come from Peru. I come from the Andes. I have a grandmother that is indigenous person who live up to 96 years old, working in the Andes, taking care of her cows and her grandchildren and children. And I learned a lot from her. And she showed me how important is nature in our life, and how important, and we must recognize traditional knowledge. Then I come to Lima, and like you, I am impressed by so many things that I see is happening around me. And really, I am very obsessed by the pollution that we are hearing is happening in Mexico City, but also in my own city, Lima, or in Tokyo, in the smog that you see in this city. So exactly like you, around your age, I participated into a similar event where we had a group of students needed to talk about an issue that we thought it was important for society. And I chose air pollution. And since that time, I really liked the idea that I was going to become somebody that will find solutions to environmental problems. So here, let me see if this works like this. Okay, so I moved to Quebec. I emigrated from Peru 43 years ago, and I did a master's and I did a PhD at McGill University in civil engineering, and I got a specialization in environmental engineering, and I always wanted to solve real problems, not just work in the lab, but solve real problems. So for example, in Quebec, in my city of Quebec, we have lakes that are being receiving too much nutrients from agricultural lands, and that makes the water green. So because of the algae, and then it produces cyanobacteria, and then it renders the water not good for the fish, not good for the human. And so we were trying to clean and to remediate or to control this pollution. So I work in the field, I work in the lab, I had a lot of machines, and I've been a geek. Yes, I'm geek. I like reading, I like physics, biology, chemistry, I like designing. And so it was good because the university at Laval University, they were open to my ideas, and what I was bringing was very different at the time. You know, when you are a civil engineer, you are very much into building infrastructure like bridges, like highways, like dams, or you are doing modeling on designing infrastructure, but you are not very much into the chemistry and the biology. So it was new to start combining this knowledge coming from ecosystem, the living creatures, the fish, the species in an ecosystem, and also integrating these to the way we design our roads, the way we design our cities. And so I can connect with you guys, and I know what you are feeling. And so I am so happy today to be talking to you. But climate change, I know it's scary. I know we have, sometimes it's too much. Even for me, sometimes it's too much. And when you live close to a water body, or when you are in an area where there are droughts, or there are forest fires, or that, glaciers are melting because of the planet is warming, it can be scary. And many of my students, of course, older than you, but still, I have great connections with them, and they come and they share with me their anxieties, their preoccupations, and my advice to them is like, be in the action. Be in the action. Yes, it's true that we have to think globally, because pollution and climate change is global issues that affect all the planet. But actually, what we can do is locally. So think globally, act locally, at your scale, at your school, at your house, at your place. Your parents are of different generation. They are much less aware than you guys about what the importance of our environment, the importance of cleaning the environment, the importance of stopping pollution. In order to be more resilient, in order to be stronger, if by any chance we are affected by extreme weather events. So this is important. Yes, we cannot deny what is happening, but be in the actions, do what is at your scale to do, and you will feel constructive, and you will feel that you are making the change that you want to see in the world, as Gandhi said. So the problem is we are putting too much pollution in the form of CO2 gas in the atmosphere, and that is caused because we are consuming too much. That's the reality of the things. Our society is very much sustained by how much we buy. And we have to become better consumers and have the responsibility of saying how much I'm consuming. Is this needed? Is not needed? What happened with whatever I'm consuming after? So the packaging, the residues of your vegetables at the kitchen, the trees that are cut around your neighborhood. And so we have to say, enough with the packaging. I don't want, or you have to recycle. And if you recycle, ask where this recycle is going. And then, reduce as much what they call your carbon print, meaning your pollution. Be mindful of whatever you are wasting. And actually, it's not that difficult, because in my family, we have gone into this experience of seeing in the weeks, a week in spring, a week in summer, a week in winter, a week in fall, what we consume, what is what we buy, and how much waste we produce. There are things that we can replace. So, for example, one little thing is that I will consume the very delicious strawberries that are produced in Quebec from June to October. But I make a point that I won't consume strawberries in the winter, because I know they come from very far and the carbon footprint is much. Also, I know that the cattle and the meat has a very high carbon print. And actually, it's not that good for the diet to eat red meat every day. So we have diversified our diet at home, and we eat more fish. We eat turkey. We eat vegetables 2-3 weeks times a week. We will eat vegetarian. And so if everybody's doing the same thing, we will be reducing our footprint. So let me see if this animation will change. Yes. So what is important is that we are aware that we have to transition from producing electricity with high pollution to produce electricity with renewable energy that doesn't produce this CO2 or this methane that causes the global warming. And it's possible. And this is very fantastic in the sense that science is pretty sure of the causes of the planet warming with 99% confidence. Scientists will never say 100%, but they will say unequivocally, or they will say with 90+% probability and confidence. Then engineers like me, we have developed renewable energy in the wind, with the sun, with hydro, with biomass. And today we can use even the power of waves and the power of the tides to produce energy locally, that it is less dependent on all the geopolitics that we hear in the news. It is becoming cheaper and is safer. So you have to remember that when human life, civilization left the Stone Age, it didn't leave it because a lack of stones. We just passed to the next innovation because it was better. And so right now we are at this inflection point where we know that producing electricity with petroleum, coal, gas is not as clean. So we have to move to cleaner sources of electricity. And we live in cities, we live in neighborhoods, and it is so amazing that everybody is seeing that, global warming is there, sea water levels are rising, and so most of our cities are very close to the ocean or to water bodies, and that we have to live in harmony with water. So we have to remember in the old times that, okay, we went to the shore to fish, but we didn't put our camps just very close. We were to a certain distance, and we just have to remember that. With planet warming, we know that asphalt is very warm. And in the cities, heat domes, heat waves can impact severely all people, children, construction workers, because the temperature gets very high. But if we plant trees, the difference of a area in a city where we have trees, canopies, compared to a naked asphalt, the difference can be 10 to 15 degrees. So we have to plant more trees. And that will help cleaning the air, capturing the CO2, and it's more beautiful and making it fresher for the workers and the people outside. This is I took this picture. It's in Milan. I live in Italy for 1 year, and I was fascinating that architects are coming with this type of buildings. And we have other, I show you one. There is many others, and there are contests now in municipal architecture that are integrating natural infrastructures in urban settings. So very recently, I was a juror in a competition for Boston, because Boston is settling and Boston is very close to the water. And so there was a competition for architects to say how Boston should develop in harmony with water. So it was called Living with Water. And so we are coming with concepts such as a sponge city, which allow the water to come, be stored in nature, and not coming with force and destroy the infrastructure that is present, but it is buffered by these sponge infrastructures, which are very cool. There are nature-based solutions, urban green infrastructures that will make our cities more livable, more comfortable, more prettier, cleaner. And that's the future that is awaiting for you if we continue in this path of leaving a dirtier technology for more cleaner settings. And I'm sure that your generation will have a better future. And please ask to my generation whatever we can do and push us so that we kept our promise of leaving you a planet that was better, in a better shape than when we receive it. So congratulations to each one and all of you, because you have done a fantastic work, and success in the continuation. And if you will choose to be an engineer and become an engineer, I am sure that you will have fun on it. Science, engineering, maths, STEM are incredible areas of work, and they will be needed in today and in the future. So I'm very happy. If you have any question for me, very happy to answer. Thank you, Rebecca.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Senator, for sharing your story with us, and just feeling really inspired by some of the kind of technology and, like you said, the green futuristic technology that we're already starting to see. And I can't wait. I'm sure that the students today have already started to integrate those ideas into their plans as well. But I really appreciate you making time today to connect with all of us and bring to light some of these ideas. We have to get kind of moving along. We have a pretty packed agenda today. So we will turn things back over to our hosts at Ontario Tech University, who will go through kind of next steps for where you all need to be and what time and how you do all of that. But thank you again, Senator.
Yes, thank you for that. That was amazing. Yeah, we are kind of a bit tight on schedule, or time, but that's okay. So I'm going to briefly go over our just general schedule for today. So we have our 3 groups, Group A, Group B, Group C. This was all sent out. Your cohort packages were sent out earlier through email. So group A, we're starting with presenting, and then you'll move to climate change trivia, which is in this Zoom link, this live stream. The same live stream is opening and closing. And then you'll head over to the 3D design workshop, which is in a separate live stream. And then group B will be heading to 3D design workshop, and then they'll be presenting, and then they'll head back to the opening and closing live stream to do the climate change trivia. And then group C will be starting with climate change trivia, heading over to then 3D design workshop, and then presenting. So just in more detail, again, just want to make this so everyone knows where they're going. So again, we're just finishing up with opening ceremonies. Group A is going to be the first group to present. So if you are in cohort A, you can start making your way over to your Google Meets that were separately sent to you in an email. And then you'll head back to climate change trivia around 110 to 140. And then around 140 to 145, you'll head to the 3D modeling and digital design workshop. And then eventually you'll head back to closing ceremonies. And then here's the teams for group A. Group B, again, you're starting off with the 3D modeling and digital design workshop, which is in that separate live stream, which again can be found all in your cohort package. And then from 110 to 140, you're presenting through, again, that Google Meet that was separately sent to you. And then you'll hop back to the opening and closing ceremonies live stream for the climate change trivia. And then you could just stay on that live stream for the closing ceremonies. And then that's the teams for group B. And then group C, so you're headed straight to climate change trivia. You could actually stay right here in this live stream. Afterwards, you'll head to 3D modeling and digital design, which is the other live stream. And then after that, you'll head to, again, that designated Google Meets that you were sent for your presentation. And then you'll head back to the opening and closing ceremonies live stream for closing. And here's the teams for group C. All right, so again, each group has their own Google Meets that have been sent out. You'll probably be prompted to add your name. If not, that's totally okay. One of our facilitators will ask you what school you're coming from just to confirm. This is just general. If you're presenting anything virtually, you just want to press this kind of the arrow right here. The arrow right beside or to the left of the end call if you're presenting anything virtually. Other than that, you shouldn't really need anything else besides, of course, making sure you're unmuted and as well as that your camera's on. And then once you're done the call, you can just press end. And then climate change trivia. So yeah, so that's where we're going to be one of our activities today, our very fun activities that one of our team instructors have created. So you'll learn all about the climate change and how as engineers, we can become more equipped to tackle climate change. And the 3D modeling and digital design workshop is all based on birdhouses and their significance and the role they play in climate change. All right, and if you have any questions, again, check out our website. That was provided in the cohort package. Though on the website itself, the two live streams are there provided to you. And then as well as on the cohort package, there's the actual schedule itself. The Google Meets. Make sure again your speaker and cameras are on so we can actually see your awesome cities today. And if you have any questions, please teachers email me. This is my email right here. It's also in the communications package. Amazing. So without further ado, I will let all of you head to where you're supposed to be going. Again, you can refer to your schedules if need be. Yeah, amazing.
So if you're still in the live stream, we are going to be getting started with our climate change trivia. So I'm just showing our Kahoot screen right now. And yeah, you guys feel free to join. We'll get started once we have a sizable number of students joining us. I almost forgot the fun Kahoot music. All right, we have some folks joining us, so I'm going to get started in interest of our schedule. But you can still join in even while the Kahoot is going on. We're just gonna, I'll give it one more minute actually, grace period. All right, we're gonna get started. Again, you can still join in as the Kahoot is going on if it's still taking you a bit of time. Okay, welcome everyone to our climate change trivia for Future Cities 2024. This first question is just to collect opinions, so it does not have any points associated with it. You just type in one word that comes to mind when you think of climate change. And it's gonna show up on our screen. Oh, I love these. Okay, so pollution, floods, heat waves, warmth, greenery, melting, global warming. Yeah, these are all words associated with climate change. And I think at least all of these are in our Kahoot today. So that's a little funny how you guys mentioned it already. Okay, next question. This one actually has points associated with it. All right, I think most of us got this one. So climate and weather are not the same thing. Climate refers to a more long-term weather or atmospheric changes, whereas weather is short-term, like in a specific area at a specific time. So I think most of us got it. All right, next question. You guys know what climate change is primarily caused by? All right. Yeah, this one too, most of us got it. So it is not the sun getting hotter or natural weather patterns, but it is an increase in greenhouse gases. Now, what are greenhouse gases? We'll talk about that in a second. almost everyone should get this because our keynote did mention it. Yes, let's go. Okay, you guys are paying attention. I love that. Yes, so carbon dioxide is the most common greenhouse gas. It is emitted by fossil fuels like car engines, burning of stuff like coal and oil, all of that produces CO2. I don't know what the greenhouse effect is. You heard of this before? Excellent. Yes. So the greenhouse effect, like the GIF kind of showed, is where the greenhouse gases in the atmosphere trap heat, and it kind of like how you have a greenhouse with plants, it keeps all of that heat within the Earth's atmosphere. So greenhouse effect. There we go. But you guys knew that already. All right. Next question. Now this one is a multi-select, so you can select more than one answer, but make sure you click submit when you're done, when you have your choices. And so I think a couple of us got the order correct, but hydro is the most widely used renewable energy source, followed by geothermal and solar. All right, have you guys heard of the carbon footprint before? All right, if you haven't heard of a carbon footprint, that's okay. It basically refers to the amount of carbon dioxide emissions associated with your activity. So everything you're doing, how much CO2 is that contributing to the atmosphere? Now, which of these small changes can you make to help reduce the amount of CO2 you are emitting? Okay, Okay, yeah, most of us got this one. So using reusable bags probably be like out of these options is the small change you can make to help reduce your carbon footprint because, rather than getting a new plastic bag maybe every time you go shopping or go to the grocery store or anything, having that reusable bag, using it multiple times, yeah, just helps reduce the amount of plastic you're using. All right, next question. Love it. Okay, we all got this one because I think there's a lot of awareness around this issue and how, yeah, the melting Arctic and like the polar ice caps are affecting polar bears. And yeah, that species is quite threatened by all of that. Okay, next question. This question might be a little tricky because of the wording, but there's technically only one right answer here. Love that. Okay, you guys did not fall for the trick, but leaving the tap off while brushing your teeth would be the way to save water. But on the more positive side, you can fix leaks or just take notice when there's a leaky faucet or a leaky tap. Notify someone who can fix it. And yeah, because the drip, drip, drip does accumulate over some time and yeah, it wastes water. So all the other options waste water, but this can help you save water. All right, next question. All right, so this one is a little tricky. It is kind of some niche information, but climate change does actually cause displacement of different species, different animals, but it actually increases migration, like movement. Migration is just movement of peoples or animals. And yeah, so animals are moving to areas of the earth where it is more fitting for them. And same with humans, honestly. Yeah, so it rather increases global migration, not decrease it. So this next one is a slider. There's going to be a slider on your screen, and I want you to slide the slider to the number that you think answers the question. So approximately what percentage of the Earth's surface is covered by water? And you don't have to get the exact number to get a point. Just the closer you are to the number, the more points you get. Excellent. Okay, I think most of us knew this one already. But yes, it's approximately 71% of the Earth's surface that's covered by water. Fun fact. And this next one is a puzzle. So there's going to be those little squares on your screen, and you need to arrange them in a certain order to arrange these renewable sources of energy from most to least used worldwide. So most used would be on the top and least used would be on the bottom. Okay, so let's address this question. It is, again, very niche information. I didn't know this beforehand either, but it's more so just to guess and see what you guys think. But hydro is the most widely used renewable energy source, followed by wind, solar, and biomass, which is not used not used so much, but hydro is the number one. Let's say you could invent some technology to fight climate change. Which of these options do you think would be the wisest for that technology to do? Right, yes. Ideally, we would want something that cleans the air or reduces the CO2 emissions. So not increase it, but reduce it. Because like we said, CO2 is the number one greenhouse gas contributing to climate change. Have you heard of the term net zero? You guys know what that means when we're talking about climate change? In case you haven't heard of the term net zero before, net zero just means that we are removing the same amount of greenhouse gases as we're emitting. So that's where the zero comes in. So it kind of balances out. Yep. All right. Now, still on the topic of, climate change, innovations, solving or addressing it. Currently, which of these cities do you guys think uses an extensive bike sharing program to help reduce traffic and pollution? Yeah, so another fun fact, Paris does have this bike sharing program implemented. It's called Vélib. Not sure if I'm saying that correctly. My French isn't great, but yeah, so they have this to help, like it says, reduce traffic and pollution to encourage people to use bikes. A couple more questions here. How do you guys think old clothing can be repurposed instead of being thrown away? Yes, okay. So all of the other options are correct in this case. So technically that option was the right answer. But yeah, you can always like upcycle it into new accessories or outfits. You can make it into a cleaning rag at home, or you could donate it to charity or a thrift store. So many things you can do instead of throwing away clothing, and this applies to many other things in our household as well. All right. More focus on engineering. Which of these solutions can help cities manage, more rainfall or increased rainfall due to climate change? Okay, most of us got this one correct. So yeah, like the answer says, engineers are constructing like stormwater retention basins. So what that means, it collects the rainwater and distributes it when needed. Now let's see how much you guys know about the different engineering fields. So which of these type of engineers do you think would be most involved in designing something to prevent flooding? So it's a bit similar to the previous question, but more focused on what type of engineer would be doing that. Yes, most of us got this one correct. I'm glad to hear that or to see that. So yes, civil engineers, they usually deal with structures or just infrastructure things in general. So they would be the ones designing the solution. This is again similar to the last question. Which of these engineering fields would be involved in developing a wind turbine? Okay, so maybe some of us Actually, like both of these engineering fields would be involved in like designing the wind turbine. However, the mechanical engineer would have more focus on the mechanics of it, whereas the electrical engineer would, as the name suggests, be involved in kind of the electrical components and getting energy from it. But the answer I was looking for was mechanical engineer, so we got that one. And our last question, this is also not for points. It's just to get responses from you guys. So what is one new way you could start, or maybe you've already started helping the environment in your daily life? And it can be something small, it can be really big. Just want to share your ideas here. I'm gonna cut it off now. A bunch of answers submitted. Wow. That's right. Okay. I'm gonna show them all at the same time. Endless. Yeah, there are endless ways you could start. Less emissions, stopping pollution, watering plants. Yes, plants do help take away CO2 in the environment. Take shorter showers, collect rainwater, carpool. Love that. Yeah, less greenhouse emissions, start carpooling, less showers, carpooling, biking, being eco-friendly and reducing your carbon footprint. Excellent. Yep, yep. Using less waste products or using more reusable products. Yep. But yeah, usable or less disposable. Turning off lights. Yes. And yeah, saving food, less electricity, throwing trash in the trash can. Love that. Oh, I love all of these ideas. And yes, definitely go ahead and implement all of these. And yes, last but not least, let's look at our podium. Yay, congratulations. I'm not even going to attempt saying these usernames out loud. They're very funny. But thank you guys so much for playing or yeah, for engaging in this Kahoot. And I believe the next thing for you guys would be the 3D design workshop. But again, don't forget to give feedback on other future cities. So the link to vote would be open until Friday. If I can share that with you guys. Yep. So the link to vote would be open until Friday, but your teacher and your class should receive instructions to do that already. And yeah, so I believe this is cohort C with me right now. So the next thing for you guys would be the 3D design workshop. All right. Thank you for joining. Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to our climate change Kahoot. We'll get started in just a second, but I will actually go ahead and start sharing it just so you guys can join in the meantime. So I'm gonna share that. You can either scan the QR code or head over to Kahoot and type in the game pin. There we go. I forgot the music again. You know how the most creative usernames or nicknames rather. Love it. Okay, in the interest of time, I'm going to get started, but the link is still open or the Kahoot is still open for our friends to join even after we start. Let's go. So this first question is just for collecting opinions, collecting you guys' thoughts. There's no points associated with this one. We're just wondering what is a word that comes to mind when you think of climate change? So you can just type that word in and click submit. let's see what some of our friends thought. Bad, I agree. In some sense, yes. The climate shifting, okay, yeah. Ecosystem pollution. So the reason our pollution is really big on the screen is because multiple people typed pollution. Change of temp, heat, tally hall. I'm not sure what that is. I'll have to look into that. Terrible. Preserving global warming, greenhouse gases. I love that you mentioned that. Arctic animals, doom, dangerous, hot, disaster, eco, carbon dioxide. I think I've said all of them. Heat, yes. These are all words associated with climate change. Love that you guys are thinking about this. Okay, now on to our quiz portion. So these are for points. Do you guys think climate and weather are the same thing? Excellent. Okay, most of us got this one correct. Climate and weather are not the same thing. So climate deals with more long-term atmosphere descriptions over like pretty much the whole globe or a larger region, whereas weather is more specific and short-term to a more specific location. So climate and weather, two different things. Do you guys know what is the primary cause of climate change? Okay, excellent. Most of us know this one. I'm not going to say more about greenhouse gases because we have a couple more questions on it, so I don't want to reveal any answers. Okay, next question. Which gas is the most common greenhouse gas? If you guys were paying attention during our keynote. Oh, I see. I see the answers coming in really quickly. Yeah, I think you guys were paying attention. Yeah. Right, most of us were paying attention. So carbon dioxide or CO2 is the most common greenhouse gas. It is emitted by car engines or just by burning fossil fuels. So coal, oil, and natural gas. Burning all of those emits carbon dioxide. Now, what is this greenhouse effect we keep mentioning? lovely. We all kind of have a good idea of the greenhouse effect. So, we do, like the Earth does receive radiation from the sun. You know, the sun shines on the Earth. But because of all of these greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, it does not let the radiation kind of go back out. But it keeps it closer to the Earth's atmosphere, creating global warming or making the Earth hotter. So that is called the greenhouse effect. But you guys knew that already. All right, next question. Select which of these are renewable energy sources. So there's going to be more than one answer, but you can select them and then click submit. Okay, yeah, most of us got all of the options. So hydro, as the name kind of suggests, it generates water, or sorry, generates power from flowing water to produce electricity. Geothermal harnesses energy from the earth and like from heated earth. And biomass generates energy from organic materials, but uranium is non-renewable. So those are the renewable ones. Next question. What is a carbon footprint? Okay, yeah. In case you've not heard the term before, carbon footprint refers to the amount of CO2 emissions that an individual is contributing in your everyday activity. So it's not like you're necessarily emitting CO2, but what are your activities or what is your day-to-day doing to emit CO2? So that's the carbon footprint. Now, which of these is a small change you can make to help reduce the amount of CO2 that your actions are emitting? Okay, yeah, most of us got the idea. So using disposable products or disposable bags will in fact contribute to waste. So in order to counter that or to not contribute to waste, using reusable bags will be the way to go. Yeah, so it reduces the waste associated with, disposable stuff, but it also helps reduce your CO2 emissions. Do you guys know which animal is the most threatened by melting Arctic ice due to global warming? Yeah, most of us have a good idea of this. There is a lot of awareness about this. So polar bears do depend on ice to live, to hunt, to survive. And yeah, they're threatened by the melting ice caps. How can you save water at home? So this question might be a bit tricky because of the wording, but there's technically just one answer here. Okay, yeah, most of us got this one. Fixing a leak or notifying or letting someone know if there's a leak at home, even if it seems small, it does contribute over time and waste water. However, all of these other options would also be wasting water. So leaving the tap on would be wasting water. So you can save water by turning it off, taking shorter showers, or just watering the lawn when needed rather than, excessively. So I think most of us got this one. Which of the following is not a consequence associated with climate change? Okay, yeah, and this one is a little niche or a little specific information, but climate change, hence global warming, does cause a lot of migration, which is just people or animals moving in groups for like over a large period of time. And yes, that's usually them moving to where it's more suited for their living, or just where it's a bit more comfortable for them. So both animals and humans are so it's increasing global migration, not decreasing it. So that's why that's the correct answer. This next one is a slider. The way this works is you slide the slider to whatever number you think is the correct answer and click submit when you're done. And you don't have to be like super exact on the correct answer, but you'll get more points the closer you are to the correct answer. All right, let's see what's correct. 71%, yes. And the reason why it's super tall like this means that a lot of people chose this one. So a lot of us do know that approximately 71% of the Earth's surface is covered by water. Fun fact. All right, this next one is a puzzle. What that means is we have some different squares and you need to arrange them in a certain order. For this question, you need to arrange these renewable energy sources from most used to least used. So the most used would be on top and the least used would be on the bottom. Excellent. Okay, a couple of us got this one. So again, it is specific info. It's more of a guessing, honestly. But hydro is the most widely used energy resource, followed by wind, solar, and biomass, not used too much. Now, talking about innovations to help address climate change, if you guys could invent a technology to address climate change, which of these do you think would be the wisest solution? Or what would that technology do? Exactly, it would clean the air. I'm glad most of us chose that answer. We would not want to produce more waste or use more water or emit more CO2, sorry, but we would want to take away CO2 from the air, contributing to net zero, like we mentioned earlier. My bad. We're now going to mention net zero. May or may not have given the answer away for this one. All right, yeah. So I gave a hint already, but net zero basically means that we are taking away or removing as much greenhouse emissions as we're putting in, hence zero, which means it's balanced out. All right, still on climate change innovations, which of these cities do you guys think uses an extensive bike sharing program to help reduce pollution and CO2 emissions? Not a lot of us got this one, but that's okay because I didn't know this earlier either. But Paris does have a really cool bike sharing program implemented. It's called Vélib. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. My French is not great, but like the question says, they do, yeah, they promote that to help encourage people to use bikes instead of cars and reduce the amount of CO2 being emitted. Oh, someone has some incredible streak. 10 correct answers in a row. Impressive. All right. And what can you do to repurpose old clothing instead of throwing it away? Hence, there's only one correct answer here, but technically all the answers are correct. Okay, you guys got that. I kind of gave the answer away, but yes, all of the other options are correct. But in terms of the Kahoot, this is the one correct answer. So yeah, you can donate old clothing to people in need, whether that's charity or a thrift store. You could cut them up, use them as rags, or you could just upcycle it, maybe tie dye it. I'm a big fan of tie dyeing, by the way. You can tie dye it or yeah, just use it to make a new style. So many things you can do with old clothing rather than throwing it away. All right, a couple more questions to round this off. These are going to be focused on engineering. So Which of these engineering solutions can help cities manage increased rainfall due to climate change? Okay, excellent. Most of us got this. So yeah, engineers help to construct stormwater retention basins to help store stormwater or rainwater and distribute it when needed. More focused on the engineering fields then, which type of engineer do you guys think would be most involved in designing systems to prevent flooding? We have answers all around for this one. Okay, it would be a civil engineer. Civil engineers are really focused on structures and infrastructure in general, so they would be the ones designing this. Our last question, again, which type of engineer would be most involved in developing an efficient large-scale wind turbine? So thinking about the wind turbine itself. Okay, yeah, I see we have answers across the board again, but a mechanical engineer would likely be most involved because we're dealing with large-scale wind turbines, so they would be involved in the mechanics and making sure everything moves as it should, whereas an electrical engineer would be more focused on getting the power and getting the electricity from the turbines. Okay, excellent. So those were all the questions that have to do with getting points. It is. Okay, so that was all for our Kahoot. Quickly look at the podium. Okay, congratulations to you guys and thank you all for participating. I'm going to go back to sharing our schedule just in case you guys are wondering what you're doing next. Oh, and don't forget to vote for other future cities. So your class should have received all of that information to share it, to vote, sorry. And voting would be open until Friday. So you can continue to vote for your favorite future city. And yeah, so next on your schedule, depending on what cohort you're in, you'll be going to the 3D design workshop.
Welcome back, everyone. I am hoping that you're all finding us back here on this this live stream for the closing ceremonies. There might be a few stragglers who are just wrapping up their presentations or their Kahoots and their 3D design activities. Sounds like there was so much fun, so many fun things going on, and I can't wait to kind of go through it all and see more about all the amazing things that you shared. All right, I'm gonna jump right in here. Like I said, welcome back, everyone. I really hope you've just enjoyed the last few hours here at the Future City Experience Showcase. And I really hope that you leave here feeling more excited and maybe more curious to explore the world of engineering. And as we wrap up today's event, we do have some special thank yous. First, thanks to all the partner organizations that have been dedicated to making this the best possible experience for all of you here today. Thanks again to our very special guest, Senator Galvez, for sharing her insights and wisdom and hopefully inspiring you, the next generation. A big shout out to all of our engineer mentors who have been there to encourage you along the way and hopefully help you understand a little bit more about what it means to be an engineer. Special thank you to Ontario Tech and the entire outreach team. all of the program coordinators, your room facilitators, so fantastic today. We really appreciate everything that you've done to make things run as smoothly as possible and make sure everyone had a great time today. And everyone, please give a big round of applause to your teachers. They're going above and beyond to expose all of you to the different pathways and different opportunities for your future. And of course, thank you to each and every one of you for your hard work and dedication to this really challenging project. Engineers are solving complex problems to protect people and keep them safe and healthy and happy. And we need people just like you so that engineers will be able to continue to serve and protect all of our Canadians. And after what I have seen here today, some of the things I've seen here today, I know that you are all up for the challenge again next year. So with that, I would like to announce the 2025 Future City Experience Challenge. Yes, you get to see it here first. This is a little teaser trailer for the 2025 theme, which is Electrify the Future. Awesome. And with that, I know you've all had a very long, busy day, so I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And like I said, we hope that we will see you all again next year. Bye, everyone.